decided to find
some multicultural places
in Moscow.
O Tannenbaum, wie treu sind deine Blätter.
If you want to plunge into the atmosphere of Germany, you can just walk around Moscow. You'll be surprised how many places connected to the German history and flavor you can find here, in the heart of Russia.
And, for example, Red October. On windy days, the warm smell of chocolate tinged with caramel drifts across the Moscow River from the brick smokestacks of the Red October factory toward the Kremlin.
The huge architectural complex made of red brick is a historical landmark of Versenevskaya Nabережная.
Until 1917, the Einem confectionery factory was located right here. That factory was built by two Germans, Ferdinand von Einem and Julius Geis. Einem sweets were known throughout Russia. They were delivered to the Russian imperial court and exported to Europe. And nowadays Red October is one of the most famous Moscow art places. The Lutheran church was erected in Starosatsky Lane at the beginning of the 19th century, at the expense of King Frederick William III of Prussia, and the bell was presented by Kaiser Wilhelm I. In the 2000s, the cathedral was reconstructed in its historical appearance. Now it's an active Lutheran church where divine services are held in Russian and German, as well as organ concerts. Interested in German? The next place is Goethe Institute. If you are keen on German culture, you should be a regular guest right here. Here you can sign up for language courses, attend German festivals and lectures on literature, music, culture of this country.
Since we've no place to go, let it snow, let it snow, let it snow.
If you don't have a chance to cross the British border and see Big Ben and other sites, we can offer you to get into the British spirit in Russia. Some sites in Moscow are part of rich heritage of British culture. The whole of Russia's capital is littered with monuments marking almost 500 years' worth of Brits in Moscow. The only Anglican church in Moscow was built in the Victorian Gothic style in the 1880s and designed by architect Neil Freeman especially for the British community. It was not only a place of worship but also a community center for the British colony. The church is still active and services are held only in English, but everyone can come.
This most famous shop in Moscow was built by two Scotsmen in 1908. Their names are Andrew Miro and Archibald Merrilies. This seven-storied building in neo-Gothic style had a sign of Mario and Merrilies until 1970.
The shop was then nationalized and in 1922 the central department store was opened in its place. If you step away from historic buildings and look at Moscow today, traces of the British can be found without difficulty. At the British School of Design located in the Art Play Design Center, you can obtain a British higher education without having to leave Russia. In Moscow there are also a lot of English pubs with the real atmosphere of good old England.
C'est la belle nuit de Noël, la neige étend son manteau blanc, et les yeux levés vers le ciel, à genoux les petits enfants.
You don't have to land at Charles de Gaulle Airport to feel the atmosphere of France.
French boulevards, legendary perfume factories, educational institutions, restaurants, bakeries with the most delicate crispy croissants, and even the Eiffel Tower can all be found in the capital of Russia. You can't visit France without taking a stroll along the famous French boulevards, Boulevard des Capucines, Montparnasse, Montmartre, and many others. However, there are French boulevards in Moscow too. Empress Catherine II was the first to suggest borrowing the idea of arranging the urban space from the French. The first French boulevards appeared in Moscow at the beginning of the 19th century. The pioneer is considered to be Tverskoy Boulevard.
After the French Revolution, people began to leave France, and some of them moved to Russia. One of the communities lived in the Rudanka district, built a small wooden church there.
And in 1833, construction of the present building in the style of classicism started. It is remarkable that the church wasn't closed even during the Soviet time. Today, it is a functioning Catholic church of Saint Louis of the French.
Ragazzi, now we are going to speak about Italiano places in Moscow, and the first place is Pizzeria. This cafe was opened by the Italian Valentino Bontempi, and Bontempi says that pizza is the great-grandmother of pizza, which was cooked on the Italian peninsula when there was no Rome, but now it's the most fashionable food in the Italian capital. In Moscow, it's also very popular.
I like pizza. Yummy.
Grande ragazzi. And the secondo Italiano place in Moscow for today is the Catholic Cathedral on Malaya Gruzinskaya. The cathedral on Malaya Gruzinskaya was built with joint efforts over 12 years. When developing the project, Thomas Bogdanovich Dvorzhetsky was inspired by the images of Milano Cathedral and St. Peter's Church in Westminster.
So we hope we have shown you how many interesting places can be found in Moscow without leaving the city. Thanks for watching!